Hi, so today we are with Dean Pascoe, the president of Boomering. It is here in Clark in Papunya, which is just outside of Manila.
So, I'm Dean Pascoe. I'm president of Boomering. We're an outsourcing company here in Clark, and we work in mainly 4 different verticals, but we're open to helping any small, medium, large company take their business to the next level. Outsourcing, I like to think of it as anything that is not client-facing, generally. Okay, so simplest way to think of it is anything back office, but the more cloud services that come through, the bigger opportunities. So there's two different visions of outsourcing, really. We could be reducing someone's costs from their home country. So let's say on average between 60 and 70% cost saving in labour. And then at the same time, we could be expanding their reach by a company might not have been able to afford an electrical engineer at home, but they can afford an electrical engineer here, and then they can be expanding their business and the services they offer. What can be outsourced? I think it's almost endless, okay? Again, I think it's any job that's almost not client-facing. Our job here is to make those people in the home country more valuable. So, and a good example would be an accountant. We can make that expensive accountant in Australia grow his business by freeing his time up and doing all the repetitive tasks here, all the bookkeeping, etc., and all the reports, and keep him engaged with his clients, growing his business. And it goes back to what can be outsourced is anything. So we've got anything from marketing people to SEO, web develop, to receptionists, right? We've got computer programmers to app developers. Realty's a big thing where we're watching properties for people, you know, so we're the first point of contact, and we could be booking the maintenance. So there's many different verticals, and you just got to go back to your business and have a look at what could be shipped overseas. And in truth, they might not even know without knowing what cloud packages are out there and ways. So it's always worth just having a talk. So how do you engage a BPO? What do we do? I guess a simple way to think about it is back at home, you've got recruitment companies. They generally hire for your company, and then that person comes and works for your company. BPO acts very similar in a way that we hire for them, but then they work out of our facilities. We provide the infrastructure. It's generally a capital-free investment for the client, so they're not putting up the money, right? But at the same time, the BPO generally manages all the HR components. Are they at work in time? Are they working? Are they meeting KPIs? And all the fun things of disciplinary, etc. We always involve the client and we walk the client through. So our job is here, one, to protect the employee, but also make sure the employees don't take advantage of a client as well. So success stories that happen fairly quickly in outsourcing are the simple tasks. A lot of my background's accounting, so I'd use that. A company could see if their payroll's getting done instantly. A debt collector, they can see if they're working. Some of those marketing chores or graphic designs, these guys see results straight away, instantly. It's a little bit different when you're putting on a sales team and they're reaching out and there's a sales process. But if you're looking for those instant cost savings, again, it's all that back office work. Okay, fears about outsourcing. There's a number of fears, and generally it's all about how it's managed and what infrastructure is put in place and what expectations we as a BPO set with the client, and then how involved and how well we can teach the client to then talk to their staff and take that to the next level. So Upwork and freelancers versus using a BPO. Be truthful, there's benefits of both. Freelancers are generally cheaper, but do you have your consistency? Do you have that structured process in place? So most freelancers will probably generally be working from home. So all you need is the Philippines to have a wild storm and you could be losing your staff for a week. You could be freelancing opens up questions like if you've got to put computer equipment into them, who's guarding your computer equipment? Who's guarding your data? Who's watching their utilities? Like, what happens if they don't pay their power bill, etc. You know, but at the same time, there's no one watching over them in the fact that you could hire a web developer as a freelancer, and they go along and start a website. You've given them a deposit, and then they disappear. At least with using a BPO, we've got a structured environment. We've got all the facilities that have got all the redundancies. So we give our 99.9% guarantee up, and we've generally worked with a client with their SOPs so that another person can slot in if an emergency happens. But we also keep employees focused. They're not working from home when there's TVs in the backgrounds. They don't have phones on their desks. They're in a structured environment where we can set KPIs and help the client guide them all the way through. Why the Philippines? Why the Philippines for outsourcing versus other countries? For me, third largest nation in the world that speak English. A lot of our customer base is Australian, and it's a very similar time zone. They might have been starting factors. Now we run 24/7 basically, and we cater for 3 different markets, so the English, the Americans and Australia. But Philippines creative people, okay? They're passionate people that get involved. They work hard, they stay back when they know something's got to be done, and they take pride in their work. I'm not saying other countries don't, but you can really feel that here. So with SOPs for people starting, or that there's plenty of customers that we come across that have come talk to us and they've got pain points about outsourcing, and we'll guide them through the best successful ways that we can make their teams profitable or engaged in a better way. And generally we help them set their KPIs, help them set their expectations. Managing the staff's emotions. They're no different to having people in your home country in a different office or on a different floor. All the same expectations you'd expect of those, you expect of your employees that have outsourced. So it's a constant work that we have to do to build cultures together, so that they come together and expectations are aligned. Now, with SOPs, we generally offer a free service that any outsourced role, we help you SOP it if your business doesn't already have a structured process unit. Now, we use a cloud-based product that can adapt in each line item, and it can be as involved or as little as a client wants their processes. So whether they want videos or screenshots or how-to tutorials, we can help process it all. Here in Clark, they're putting up buildings as fast as BPOs are demanding them. You know, so currently I've got my next building, and I've got to wait 4 months for it. You know, so the buildings are going up. The amount of talent that's getting pulled into the areas, the outsourcing regions. So there's probably 3 megas in the Philippines that do outsourcing, and the talent pool's just coming in. So recruiting for them and the growth in the industry is great. And the biggest thing that I love about it is we're just watching the middle class of the Filipinos come up. So for small businesses that need help and to understand what they could outsource or if they've got an idea in their head, we can walk them through. So our normal process is to have like a one-on-one consultation with them and understand where they are in the line of their knowledge, etc. So after we've got a mapped out of where they want to be and where they are now, we do have consultants here that will help them even before they start outsourcing, gearing their business to get ready to outsource. The process cycle of getting a new customer can be 3-4 months sometimes. It depends where in that life cycle that customer is up to. So I'll use an accounting example again. So somebody that's still doing their books manually or in Excel spreadsheets might take longer because we've got to then guide them to pick a cloud-based software that secures their data but still meets their needs, and we work them through. But it's not just accounting, it could be in any process for any job. And we understand that outsourcing here affects employees back in Australia or home countries, and jobs have to be reconfigured and people have to be on board, and it's a whole process, because without having people on board, it's a very hard recipe, right? So you need to win them over and make everyone understand how it affects them and how it benefits them, so then everyone's on board and the teams grow and are a success. Pitfalls, things to avoid: rushing. I'm a big person against rushing. It's great if somebody comes to me and wants big amounts of outsourced staff, but if it's not set up in a way for a recipe for success, I'm not here to burn their capital or their money. So we generally slow a lot of customers down. We get customers that come in here all excited because they found the world of outsourcing and the possibilities and what they could be doing with it, but without having the processes back home and here geared right. I want them to start slow. I want them to prove that that the process that they're using is successful, and they might only start with 1, 2, 3, 4 staff instead of starting with 20. Prove that that's right and the model's right, and then we gear up with them at the right time, you know. So we've built many teams that, as a team of 3 become more profitable, they reinvest that into the 4th team, and the company keeps growing, and it's growing the right way rather than a rushed model that's eating people's cash flow for no reason. So there's plenty of views out there that we're taking jobs of Americans or jobs of Australians and moving it off country, and sure, it's possible to do that, but it doesn't need to be. I keep pushing back that it's all about making the people that are already there more valuable and being able to free up their time so they can grow their businesses, you know. So it's not about stealing jobs. So that's one thing that I get encountered with. The other thing is we get pushbacks on security data, etc. But where we can get around that is, that might not be the right word, but getting around it. But if the banks are doing it, and they're doing it with their information, the big telcos are over here. The outsourcing is no longer just for the large enterprises, and if it's safe for large enterprises to do it, and we've got the right network and the right safety protocols, even the smalls and the mediums can do it now as well. I think a lot of the time they ask how involved we are. So they go along, and so customers always go along and ask how do they know their staff's working, how involved are we, and the simple answer is we build a process that suits you as a customer, and the answer is we're as involved as they want us, or as little as we want us, because they're their staff. The staff are working solely for their company, and we're here to help them guide and bring the right culture to their team. But at the same time, those guys, no one knows their business like they do, so they've got to report back to their business, okay? But again, it comes back to how involved does the client want us, and we build a model that works for them. Where they think it's a turnkey, solved all the problems, that might be true if they've put the effort in early on days, built the right SOPs, and it might go that way. Or what we can do here is we offer some managed services, where it's not just the traditional outsourcing where we're watching the HR and we've got people in seats doing jobs reporting back to there. We might bring in managers that are experts that your staff then report to, and then it's only the key points that they're going back to you. So there is different solutions we can offer to different clients. It's just, do they want traditional outsourcing, or do they want a managed service where it's the next level up? One of the things Boomering's excelling at is helping people that are already outsourcing and they still have pain points. We help them go to that next level with our SOPs, with our hands-on approach, and bring them over into the Boomering family of outsourcing. We're still talking about their team members reporting directly back to them, only working on their businesses, but we bring our SOP expertise, etc. But a big part of it is that transition process where you're transitioning from one BPO to another, and we've got experienced HR teams that know what employees feel and how they get nervous when they're moving from one company to another, what client questions there are, and we've got a big pack that helps not only employees and the clients transition both from their separate views.